Welcome back, everyone. Michael here with Offshore Citizen. Today we are in wonderful Dubai, and we're going to talk about one of the easiest Schengen visas that you can possibly get. I'm going to go through it with you in a reasonable amount of detail and explain to you why I think it might be a good option for at least a bunch of the people out there. So, before we get started on that, if you haven't already, please destroy the subscribe button. Really appreciate if you do that for us. Click the notification bell. We love people who like our videos, so if you like the video, please like the video. Certainly tell us in the comments if you don't like it. Always working on ways to improve. And if you're interested in this subject at all about how to get second passports, other residencies, citizenships, places to move, international tax planning, international asset protection, company formation, payment processing, offshore banking, etc., please reach out to me. You can book a call, clarity.fm/Michael Rosmer. There's a link below, or check out our websites, offshorecitizen.net, offshorecapitalist.com. All right. So the country that I think is quite interesting, and it's been quite interesting for a while now, and it's not surprising that it's one of the more popular ones, is Portugal. Okay, now why do I think Portugal is an especially interesting place to get a second residency, or in particular a Schengen residency? Well, first of all, if you're getting a residency, oftentimes you're required to spend a lot of time in that country. Now, this is actually true in the program that I'm going to tell you about with Portugal. But the difference when we're talking about the Schengen zone is that you basically can spend that time in the Schengen zone, okay? Now, technically speaking, they want you to spend the time in Portugal. The thing is, within the Schengen zone, there's no borders. So they don't know, right? And this gives you a tremendous amount of freedom. So it's very common, for instance, for people to have a Portuguese residency and live in the south of Spain, right? They want to live in Marbella, in places like this, right? Or maybe they want to live in France, or they want to live somewhere else. They can do that with a Schengen visa. And one of the easiest Schengen visas to get is in Portugal, okay? The second thing is that most countries, because they have this requirement that you need to spend 6 months a year there, the thing that goes along with it is that you would be tax resident there, and therefore you would be taxable. So let's use an example. Let's say you were to go and become resident in Latvia, or Slovakia, or Czech Republic. Okay, you can get residencies in those countries relatively easily. Those are Schengen countries. You can maintain that residency and basically pretend to live in Slovakia, but actually live in, south of Spain. But the reality is then you're going to have to pay tax in Slovakia, and do you want to do that? So, of course, Portugal is kind of the same, but the difference with Portugal is they have the non-habitual residency program, okay? So if you're on the non-habitual residency regime, well, now you're in a position where you're able to potentially pay very little, and in many cases, no tax. So this is very attractive for a period of 10 years, right? Third thing that comes along with this is this leads to citizenship. So after 5 years, you can get permanent residency and then citizenship. So that's pretty cool, right? So the question then becomes, well, how would you go about getting residency? And you can do the Golden Visa program. We'll probably do another video on that in the future. It's a pretty good program. It's something that I'm recommending to a lot of people these days. But the one that we're going to focus on here is the one for people who do not want to invest a ton of money, which is the D7 visa. Okay, so how does a D7 visa work? A D7 visa is essentially a retirement visa, but you don't really have to be at retirement age. You just have to demonstrate that you have a certain minimum level of income, which is around 9,000 euros a year. So nothing, right? Minor amount of money. You're going to spend, a few $1,000s in legal fees. There's a bit of a process because the process starts outside of Portugal, applying in your country of residence, and you apply there, and then you go to Portugal, and then you end up having to book an appointment. And so the process actually takes quite a few months to go through. It's fairly slow. It's not really the most, it's not the quickest, right? But still pretty straightforward, pretty easy. And as part of it, you're going to get some sort of an address. Now, in theory, you don't necessarily have to have that address be, like a permanent long-term lease. You could, there's ways of working around that. So that's definitely something that can be arranged if you're looking for it. But most of the time, the idea is that you would get a residency with a like an apartment or something like that, someplace, a house that you're going to live for, about a year. And the way that this works is you're going to get a 2-year visa initially. Okay, so it used to be you got a 1 year and then you renewed and it was a 2-year and then you got another 2-year. Now you initially get a 2-year, and then after 2 years you're going to renew and you're going to get another 3-year, and then after that you can get permanent and then citizenship. Okay, so pretty cool. You only need to renew really the one time in there, which is pretty fantastic. It's, like I said, quite easy to go through. Obviously the qualification level is not high. And under this program, then you can qualify immediately for the non-habitual residency program, which gives you this special tax regime. I'll maybe do another video about it in the future. And yeah, it's pretty decent option for a lot of people who are looking for easy access to the Schengen zone and being able to get away with doing that while at the same time not incurring a large tax consequence. I think this is good. It's not good necessarily for people who want to work in that place, right, in Portugal or somewhere else. But if you're working online or if you have your own business, then it can be fantastic, right? You can get a very good situation. Now, if you actually have earned income, you're not going to be zero tax even under the non-habitual residency regime. But for the right professions, and it's pretty broad range, you can get 20% tax, which is not too insane, right? If you have a business and you're looking to employ people, Portugal has some pretty low wages with some pretty good, talented people. Again, there's consequences of doing that, but certainly it's an option. The tax planning, you do need to do a bit of tax planning because they have a blacklist on their CFC rules, so there's some things to work out there. But then on top of that, a lot of people actually want to live in Portugal because of the fact that there's pretty good weather there, right? So it's definitely a place that I think is worth considering. Like I said, I'm mentioning to quite a few people. We've got a number of clients who are going there and signing up for the program, want to move there and check it out. I have a bunch of close friends who have moved there, and it's something that I think is worth considering for you. So anyway, I hope you like that. I hope you find that interesting. If you have any questions about it, like I said, this or any other residency programs, either within the Schengen zone or abroad, if you're looking for citizenships within the EU or abroad, if you're looking for international tax planning, maybe you are relocating to or you're already in Portugal and you want to figure out how to build an international structure that's going to work for you, right? Maybe you're worried about those blacklists, whatever it happens to be, definitely reach out to us. You can book a call with me, clarity.fm/Michael Rosmer, or check out offshorecitizen.net, offshorecapitalist.com. Please smash the subscribe button, click the notification bell. I'm going to see you guys on the next video.